Hello, and welcome back to my channel where I am reading the Bible in a year. Well, we are reading the Bible in a year. We are reading the entire Bible in a year. If you are returning, congratulations. We have now made it to day 41. And if you are new here, congratulations for making the decision to start this journey with us. You can either read along or listen along. We are still receiving God's message for us on today. I got me some new reading glasses, so this will be this will hopefully make it a little more smoother reading, and that is so much better. But anyway, so day 41, we are reading Hebrews 7, Exodus 3 through 4, and then Psalms 41. Turning to Hebrews 7. The priestly order of Melchizedek. This is King Melchizedek from Salem, priest of the Most High God. Meet Abraham as he was returning from defeating the kings, and blessed him. And to him Abraham apportioned 1/10 of everything. His name in the first place means King of Righteousness. Next, he is also King of Salem, that is, King of Peace. Without father, without mother, without genealogy, having neither beginning of days nor end of life, but resembling the Son of God, he remains a priest forever. See how great he is? Even Abraham, the patriarch, gave him 1/10 of the spoils. And those descendants of Levi who received the priestly office have a commandment in the law to collect tithes from the people, that is, from their kindred. Though these are descended from Abraham, but this man, who does not belong to their ancestry, collected tithes from Abraham and blessed him, who had received the promises. It is beyond dispute that the inferior is blessed by the superior. In the one case, tithes are received by those who are mortal, in order by the one whom it is testified that he lives. One might even say that Levi himself, who receives tithes, paid tithes through Abraham, for he was still in the loins of his ancestor when Melchizedek met him. Another priest like Melchizedek. Now, if perfection had been attainable through the Levitical priesthood, for the people received the law under this priesthood, what further need would there have been to speak of another priest arising according to the order of Melchizedek, rather than one according to the order of Aaron? For when there is a change in priesthood, there is necessarily a change in the law as well. Now, the one of whom these things are spoken belonged to another tribe, from which no one has ever served at the altar. For it is evident that our Lord was descended from Judah, and in connection with the tribe of Moses said nothing about priests. It is even more obvious when another priest arises resemble Melchizedek, one who has been a priest, not through a legal requirement concerning physical descent, but through the power of indestructible life. For it is attested of him, you are a priest forever, according to the order of Melchizedek. There is, on the one hand, an abrogation of an earlier commandment, because it was weak and ineffectual, for the law made nothing perfect. There is, on the other hand, the introduction of a better hope, through which we approach God. This was confirmed with an oath. For others who became priests took their office without an oath, but this one became a priest with an oath because of the one who said to him, the Lord has sworn, and it will not change his mind. You are a priest forever. Accordingly, Jesus has also became the guarantee of a better covenant. Furthermore, the former priests were many in number, because they were prevented by death from continuing in office. But he holds his priesthood permanently because he continues forever. Consequently, he is able for all time to save those who approach God through him, since he always lives to make intercession for them. For it was fitting that we should have such a high priest, holy, blameless, undefiled, separated from sinners, and exalted above the heavens. Unlike the other priests, he has no need to offer sacrifices day after day for his own sins, and then for some of the people. This he did once for all when he offered himself. For the law appoints as high priests those who are subject to weakness. But the word of oath, which came later than the law, appoints a son who has been made perfect forever. All right. Next is Exodus 3-4. Moses at the burning bush. Moses was keeping the flock to his father-in-law Jethro, the priest of Midian. He led his flock beyond the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire out of a bush. He looked, and the bush was blazing, yet it was not consumed. Then Moses said, I must turn aside and look at this great sight, and see why the bush has not burned up. When the Lord saw that he had turned aside to see, God called to him out of the bush, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here I am. Then he said, Come no closer. Remove the sandals from your feet, for the place which you are standing is holy ground. He said further, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look at God. Then the Lord said, I have observed the misery of my people who are in Egypt. I have heard their cry on my account of their taskmasters. Indeed, I know their sufferings, and I have come down to deliver them from the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of the land to a good and broad land, a land flowing with milk and honey, to the country of the Canaanites, the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites. The cry of the Israelites has now come to me. I have also seen how Egyptians oppress them. So come, I will send you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. But Moses said to God, Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt? He said, I will be with you, and this shall be a sign for you that it is I who sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you shall worship God on this mountain. The divine name revealed. But Moses said to God, If I come to the Israelites and say to them, The God of your ancestors has sent me, they will ask me, What's his name? What shall I say to them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. He said further, Thus you shall say to the Israelites, I am has sent me to you. God also said to Moses, Thus you shall say to the Israelites, The Lord, the God of your ancestors, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, and this is my title for all generations. Go and assemble the elders of Israel and say to them, The Lord, the God of your ancestors, the God of Abraham, of Isaac, and Jacob, has appeared to me, saying, I have given heed to you and to what has been done to you in Egypt. I declared I will bring you up out of the misery of Egypt and land of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, and the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, a land flowing with milk and honey. They will listen to your voice, and you and the elders of Israel shall go to the king of Egypt and say to them, The Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has met with us. Let us now go a 3 days journey into the wilderness, so that we may sacrifice to the Lord our God. I know, however, the king of Egypt will not let you go unless compelled by a mighty hand. So I will stretch out my hand and strike Egypt with all my wonders that I will perform in it. After that, he will let you go. I will bring his people into such favor with the Egyptians that when you go, you will not go empty-handed. Each woman shall ask their neighbor and any woman living in the neighbor's house for jewelry, of silver, of gold, and clothing. You shall put them on your sons and your daughters, so you shall plunder the Egyptians. Chapter 4, Moses' miraculous power. Then Moses answers, But suppose they do not believe me or listen to me, but say, The Lord did not appear to you. The Lord said to him, "What is in your hand?" He said, "A staff." And he said, "Throw it on the ground." So he threw the staff on the ground and became a snake. And Moses drew back from it. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Reach out your hand and seize it by the tail." So he reached out his hand and grasped it and became a staff in his hand, so that he may believe the Lord and the God of their ancestors. The God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob has appeared to you. Again, the Lord said to him, "Put your hand inside your cloak." And he put his hand inside his cloak. And when he took it out, his hand was leprous, as white as snow. And God said, "Put your hand back in your cloak." So he put it back in his cloak. And when he took it out, it was restored like the rest of his body. If they will not believe you or heed the first sign, they may believe the second sign. If they will not believe these two signs or heed you, you shall take some water from the Nile and pour it on the ground, and the water that you shall take from the Nile will become blood on dry ground. But Moses said to the Lord, "Oh, my Lord, I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor now, that you have spoken to your servant, but I am slow of speech and slow of tongue." Then the Lord said to him, "Who gives speech to mortals? Who makes them mute or deaf, seeing or blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go, and I will be with your mouth and teach you what you are to speak." But he said, "Oh, my Lord, please send someone else." Then the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses, and he said, "What of your brother Aaron the Levite? I know that he can speak fluently. Even now he is coming out to meet you, and when he sees you, his heart will be glad. You shall speak to him and put the words in his mouth, and I will be with your mouth and with his mouth, and each of you and teach you what to say. He indeed shall speak for you to the people. He shall serve as a mouth for you, and you shall serve as God for him. Take in your hands this staff which you shall perform the signs." Moses returns to Egypt. Moses went back to his father-in-law Jethro and said to him, "Please let me go back to my kindred in Egypt and see whether they are still living." And Jethro said to Moses, "Go in peace." The Lord said to Moses in Midian, "Go back to Egypt, for all those who are seeking your life are dead." So Moses took his wife, his sons, put them on a donkey, and went back to the land of Egypt. And Moses carried the staff of God in his hand. And the Lord said to Moses, "When you go back to Egypt, see that you perform before Pharaoh all the wonders that I have put in your power. But I will harden his heart, so that he will not let the people go. Then you shall go to Pharaoh, thus says the Lord, Israel is my firstborn son. I said to you, let my son go, that he may worship me. But you refused to let him go. Now I will kill your firstborn son." On the way, at the place where they spent the night, the Lord met him and tried to kill him. But Zipporah took a flint and cut off her son's foreskin, and touched Moses' feet with it, and said, "Truly you are a bridegroom of blood to me." So he let him alone, and it was then, she said, a bridegroom of blood by circumcision. The Lord said to Aaron, "Go to the wilderness to meet Moses." When he went, he met him at the mountain of God and kissed him. Moses told Aaron the words of the Lord with which he had sent him, and all the signs with which he had charged him. Then Moses and Aaron went and assembled at the elders of the Israelites. Aaron spoke all the words that the Lord had spoken to Moses, and performed the signs in the sight of the people. The people believed, and when they heard that the Lord had given heed to the Israelites, and that he had seen their misery, they bowed down and worshipped. All right, now Psalms 41. Psalms 41, assurance of God's help and a plea for healing. To the leader, a psalm of David. Happy are those who consider the poor. The Lord delivers them in the day of trouble. The Lord protects them and keeps them alive. They are called happy in the land. You do not give them up to the will of their enemies. The Lord sustains them on their sickbed. In their illness you heal all their infirmities. As for me, I said, O Lord, be gracious to me. Heal me, for I have sinned against you. My enemies wonder in malice. When I will die and my name perish, and when they come to see me, they utter empty words. While their hearts gather mischief, when they go out, they tell it abroad. All who hate me whisper together about me. They imagine the worst for me. They think that deadly thing has fastened on me, and I will not rise again from where I lie. Even my bosom friend in whom I trusted, who ate of my bread, has lifted the heel against me. But you, O Lord, be gracious to me, and rise me up, that I may repay them. By this I know that you are pleased with me, because my enemies has triumphed over me. But you have upheld me because of my integrity, and set me in your presence forever. Blessed be the Lord, the God of Israel, from everlasting to everlasting. Amen and amen and amen. We have finished day 41. I pray that this word has blessed your heart. And until tomorrow, be blessed and farewell.